Yo, what's good? We are here on the next block. We got Crypto for Change, Christian of Niftgen, and Philip of Niftgen. Of course, C. Will. JT may be joining us in the audience. Again, this episode is brought to you by NF Domains. If you ain't got a .algo, you're missing out. What's good, y'all? How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. What do you guys have you guys been since last week?
Good, man. Pretty good. It's been busy over here in Niftgen, but overall it's going great.
Yeah, no, you guys got your mainnet launch coming up soon, so we'll be excited to talk and break down some of that. But before we jump into it, as we get some of the audience to kind of roll in, let's kind of talk about some current market sentiment analysis. What are you guys seeing out there? What are you guys excited about?
Well, what I'm excited about is that I feel like we're slowly getting some upward momentum. Like I was saying off stage, Algorand popped to 30 cents a few weeks ago or whatever. That always gets me excited. What about you, Philip?
I was just going to say with the recent pop, and we were kind of mentioning it though. What are your all's thoughts on this whole crack in with the SEC? Staking as a service kind of getting put under attack. How do you guys think that's going to affect the next couple weeks? Kind of like how we saw FTX and all that drama kind of fall out over a month or so. Do you guys think that there's a lot more red to come, or do you think this is just a blip in the radar and the good times are going to keep rolling?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the real thing everybody's asking is that are they going to go after Coinbase? Like that's because that seems like the next target, right? Right now what's happening with staking is that I'm not a lawyer, right? So don't take what I do as financial advice.
But not financial advice.
Yeah, not financial advice or legal advice. But it apparently seems that if you're staking in a centralized exchange, then that's not good for the SEC because they kind of do the whole Howey test and stuff like that for being a security. So it kind of seems to be that if you are staking though on a decentralized exchange where you actually have to work for the stake, you have to vote, then it's okay. But then again, there's no law, there's nothing stopping the SEC from taking it to the next level and going after decentralized exchanges. Or, essentially, they can even go after liquidity pools, right?
Yeah.
It
seems like the big thing is that they're attacking, or at least when watching Gary Gensler's little video representation that he did about it, is making sure that, say you were to go and, I used to work in the banking industry, right? Highly regulated. And if you were to open an account, there are, you would literally spend weeks on weeks learning about disclosures, about all the regulations and all the things that you as a banker or someone in the financial industry have to provide a potential client, right? And I think what you're seeing is a lot of these lending staking services are not disclosing really anything that's going on to the people who are staking. So that's why you've had so many people who maybe think, my assets are safe, they're on this platform, I don't have to worry about it, when in all reality, your assets are not safe. They're not even yours. This lender, whether, I'm not saying Kraken was doing this, but there have been in the past year and a half tons of platforms that were using users' funds to, over leverage and do risky stuff, and then obviously ended up going bankrupt and losing those funds. So I feel like, there is a good side to this, right? We need regulation. We need customers and consumers to feel secure and safe when they're using these centralized entities. But I do agree, Christian, I don't think if you're using, like I use AlgoFi, and technically I have my assets staked there, but they're still, the keys are held by me, right? So it is a decentralized platform in that respect. But I feel like if you are touting a centralized, and you're trying to act like you're a, one of these companies out here like Coinbase, you better make sure you have your ducks in a row, because if you don't, the SEC is going to come after you. But I really don't see them coming after, a lot of the decentralized things. Because one, it'd just be really hard. But that's just my opinion.
Here's my view on coming after DeFi. I think what will happen is it will hit the US browsers, right? Because remember when AlgoDex was dropping, we could not use AlgoDex in the US. So that's what I'm seeing the play would be, just restrict our internet, and then therefore we have to VPN and do all jump through hoops to try to use it, which I think it would personally kill it for Americans if we have to do that.
It would definitely slow it down a lot in America, just because, tons of people. I've used, VPNs. I'm comfortable with them, but a lot of people are not. They don't want to have that hassle. So it would definitely be, I would say this, it would still thrive with things like Coinbase, right? People are still going to buy them and hold their assets, but it would definitely start to limit the amount of people who want to branch off and explore DeFi, because then they're like, oh, you mean I got to get a VPN? I feel like I'm shady. I'm breaking the laws. Is the IRS going to come after me? All these things. So it would definitely suck. And it was kind of funny. I just mentioned a tweet I saw from CZ Binance saying that Abu Dhabi just launched a $2 billion initiative for crypto startups. So if the US does this and they do it too much, and for too long without clear regularity, I mean, you are going to see the rest of the world adopt crypto and take, a foothold in it, where America's just going to get left behind. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But, at this point, Gensler, maybe let's bring it up here. But at this point, Gensler has just not been very clear. The one thing I kind of do wonder about is Gensler has been, at least in certain talks, I've heard him talk somewhat positively about Algorand. He's talked about, you could build Uber on top of it in lectures and stuff like that, and tweets, where he obviously knows Silvio Macaulay and at least respects him. So it will be interesting to see how, with Kraken being the last one to kind of get the hammer, is this something that's going to bleed into the DeFi, or is it really just targeting these centralized companies that are, kind of parading around, acting like they're offering these services to customers without properly disclosing, maybe what you should disclose for what are unregistered securities. I do think it's really crazy how fast, though, Coinbase be listing these ERC20 tokens. Like Blur just dropped, and they already got it I got the notification this morning that you could buy Blur. And I'm just like, to me, it's like, all right, Gensler, if you were talking about protecting consumers, like, I just got a notification from Coinbase that I can buy, sell, and trade Blur, and I can guarantee you it passes the Howey test on so I can guarantee you it's probably an unregistered security. And you got Coinbase out here promoting it, and they're not showing you what the pitfalls of this could be, or to try to protect investors. They're just saying, hey, you can go buy it now. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we're not going to know about until years down the road. But it kind of sucks because
is Kraken public company?
Yeah, it is. All right,
it went public. So. I thought they were still not public.
No. I mean, unless I missed something. They were planning on going public, but they didn't because of the bear market and stuff like that. But they were planning on going public. Yeah.
See the thing about, I think, why Coinbase is in less pressure, because they already went public. So it's like they have, the people made their money off of it. They want to keep it going. And Kraken, I feel like, is still playing that fine line where it's like not public yet. So that makes you a target, because SEC can pretty much control Coinbase now.
I mean, true. And eventually I'm sure they will, especially once we get more clarity on who actually does control a lot of these tokens, whether it's, commodities and CFTC or if it's the SEC and securities. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that still need to come out. But, I will say I expect the next few weeks to be a little bumpy, but I saw someone tweet out, and I've actually been following his tweets. Jordan Peterson, I think is his name, from N Squared, Kane Digital, and he's been tracking this bear market. And he was posting one, I think it was yesterday or the day before, saying that the next move down, if we do get a move down and it's a type capitulation type event where we see more blood, he said it's going to be bad. Like it could really be a bad draw or far drawdown. But if we see, the continued kind of movement up, we may not see that type of pullback until, end of Q2, maybe even Q3 of this year. But I still think there's a chance it still comes. That's my overall thoughts.
I got you.
January rally.
And just one quick thing I just want to say, like in regards, kind of like to do a little bit of like a balanced argument in regards to like, the SEC and like regulation by enforcement and stuff like that. In the United States, the issue we have right now is that you guys touched upon is that we don't have any clarity on pretty much anything, to be honest, right? And so the SEC, they're essentially taking advantage of the opportunity and doing regulation by enforcement because they can, right? So what we need is really Congress to pass, at this point, any type of regulation about anything, even if it's like just something about staking or something about anything, just the way we know we can have some clarity about some things. Because right now we have no clarity about anything. So that's why the SEC can play with that.
How
I
does
believe
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
how does the with all this not really clarity in the overall crypto space, how does this affect your all's
Mhm.
decision making on what cryptos you buy, or if you even invest and buy any and stake any right now?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's
go
a
ahead.
very interesting. Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's a very interesting question. I mean, like, I mean, personally, when I buy crypto, I just buy in companies who I think have like a very long-term like potential. Like, I buy Algo, right? I also buy some other tokens and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because you don't know. I mean, we could get a notification in a month from now saying, "Hey, all the stuff you have staked on Coinbase, you can no longer stake it there. Take it out and put it somewhere else." Right? So I
Mhm.
mean, you really have to keep updated about what's going on like on a daily basis, just to be more informed about it. Because this is a
Right.
new industry, right? So you're gonna always gonna have new things happening. So it's important to like remain informed. One of the things that I found so interesting about the whole Kraken thing was I believe Jesse Powell actually tweeted about it. Like, guys, when Gary Gensler said all the Kraken had to do was go on the SEC and fill out the form, I'm like, I'm
Right.
pretty sure if it was that simple, they would have done it, right? And just for the viewers that are watching, Kraken actually did proof of reserves in 2014 when that wasn't even a thing, right?
Yeah.
And they actually went through a lot of the regulatory stuff to be a public company because they wanted to do an IPO. So I'm like, you're telling me that people that were so compliant with everything didn't know that all they had to do to not get sued was to fill out the form? Me personally, I don't buy that. That's just my
Well,
personal
also,
opinion.
a lot of people went
Mhm.
and said that that form was not very easy to find because Gensler said it's like right on their front page or something, and there was like many people scouring the webs, the web pages of the SEC Gov trying to find it, and it's like it's not there, like it's not easily to find and fill out. So yeah, it is. There is a lot that's wrapped into that, and obviously it's gonna. I think it's gonna take weeks to flesh out. That's why I don't think we're gonna see any like substantial movement in price for Bitcoin or any of that right yet, but once it, this kind of does blow over and we see the, blowback from it, I think we could see some movement, crazy movement, whether it be to the up or the downside, is yet to be seen. But kind of, right before we jump in, everybody go through and say, what's the last 3 to 5 cryptos you've bought right now during this bear market? I'll start. So recently, I've been obviously I've been buying Algo. That's definitely one of them. But I've been trying to branch out, see what else is out there.
Mhm.
Start building some bags, especially if 2023 I think is going to find the bottom. I don't know if we've hit it yet, but I think some things and a lot of things will. So I've actually reached out and started building a quant position, which is not too far behind Algo in market cap, but I do think it has a lot of interesting things going for it. EWT, I think. No. See, it's EWT, Energy Web Token was actually another one that I bought into, and it's actually
That's
making some
random.
connection. Well, it's making some connections with the Hyperledger, which is an interesting. That whole Hyperledger system thing is very interesting as well.
Mm.
So I've been buying a little bit of that, and you can stake it, which is interesting because we're talking about all the staking stuff. So I do wonder if I'm going to have to install a VPN soon to, be able to access that from here in the States. And then I would say one of the other ones that I've started building a position in is still Glimmer. So, which is a part of the Polkadot ecosystem.
Yeah,
So it's a
like
parachain,
Moonbeam and all that.
Moonbeam.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So those are the 3 outside of Algorand. Obviously, I guess you could say 4, but those are the ones I've been buying. What about you guys?
Well, to answer your first question, I like to use the Robinhood app to kind of see what's popping with their cryptos, because if they
Okay.
list something, that means they had to get a lot of approvals to get those assets onto
Mm-hmm.
Robinhood. So they got about 10 tokens. So that's a jewel if y'all interested, then go check out Robinhood to see what they got. But the last tokens I brought was Hedera H bar, and
Okay.
then Multiverse X was the last ones, which formerly known as Eagle
Eagle.
Elrond.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ego is still Ego. So those are 2 platforms that I'm like really looking into, because I'm a big fan of layer 1 cryptocurrencies. I think layer 1s is the key still. So that's pretty much what I was looking at. And then Cosmos. I didn't buy any more recently, but I always like what Cosmos is doing, because even Binance Smart Chain is built off of Cosmos SDK. A lot
Right.
of things are built off of Cosmos's technology, which always keeps it in the mix.
Yeah.
What about you, Philip?
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't bought any like 3 to 5. I mean, mostly obviously Algo, because I do still believe in Algo, but I've been
Yeah.
really keeping an eye out on a few. It's like, for instance, the Near one.
Okay.
Because I, well, to be honest, Christian and I, we have kind of looked into Near, and like they seem to be very ambitious. And they seem to really understand what it takes to get, many people into Web3, because I think their goal is like a billion users by 2025. So I mean,
Dang.
mad
Wow.
ambitious, but I love that. So
Yeah.
definitely them. I mean, there are a few coins that I like Chainlink personally. I mean,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that
if you guys
was
do the Chainlink, but this is actually this was a coin that was actually introduced to me by one of my relatives who actually works in DeFi, and like this is his bread and butter. And I watched a Lex Friedman podcast with Sergey, the guy the founder of it, and I really liked what he was saying. And Chainlink's very stable. I mean, yeah, it dropped down like bad over the bear market, but
yeah.
What
I
hasn't?
really like what they're doing. And yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. So I'd say, like, for me, the top 3 to watch, well, Algorand, Near, and probably Chainlink, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that Lex Friedman podcast. I love listening to Lex Friedman when he interviews people in the crypto space. I feel like he gets some good minds in there.
Yeah, you got to build up some stamina, but
Yeah.
3-hour shows.
Right.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about the whole suit and tie thing, but I mean, he looks like a KGB hitman type. But I mean,
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'll be very honest, but yeah, but it's very good stuff though. And thankfully they do have like segments, so you can see like where, because like if
Oh
there are
yeah.
some things that you're less interested, you could just skip over. But Sergey kind of lays out a really nice vision, and he seems to be like a humble guy who's just a builder, like a pure builder, and so that's kind of why I really believe in Chainlink.
Like yeah, nice. Christian, what about you? What are you buying or what are you interested in?
Yeah, so like, well, Algo obviously the one. Then there's also Near, like Philip said, because I like really the chain and the project, what they have going on. Then it's a Hedera H bar, Polygon, because like at least one layer too. So Polygon is always the better place to go. And what was the 5th one? Just a little bit. Gala Gaming. It's like one of them, like, 'cause I think they have some really cool things going on.
Nice.
Well,
All right.
I want to add too, ETH. I always catch myself buying a little bit of ETH, here and there, but it disappoints me every time I send it out because I'm like, oh shit, I got hit with that fee, and I always forget until I do it again. So
right,
ETH,
it's like a lot of people. I was seeing a lot of tweets of people trying to claim their Blur tokens, the airdrop that just happened, and you're claiming $50 worth of Blur, but you're having to pay $15 to get it. It's like that's that's almost 30-40% of your claim that you got to pay in fees to the ETH validator. Crazy. So maybe one day sound money will take over and people will see things like Algorand, heck, even Cardano and Near and so many of the other layer ones that are getting built that are way faster, way cheaper, and you can do just as much on smart contracts. It's just I guess it's the developer language that people don't want to change up then and make it harder. But with all that, let's jump into some Niftgen talk. So let's hear about what you guys have, since the last time we had you on, what you guys are doing, obviously getting ready for your mainnet launch. So I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, thank you. So pretty much, mainnet launch February 20th, which is on Monday. We're very excited for it. I mean, it's been a long journey, so we're looking forward to rolling that out. It's just to be fully transparent. It's going to be a little bit rough around the edges when we release, but we're all about getting feedback and improving the product. So we look forward to all the feedback we're going to receive, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, Philip and I can take criticism, so we're actually looking forward to that because that means the product gets better. What I want to talk a little bit about is the engagement token. We call it engagement token that we're going to have for Niftgen. Yeah. So, and there'll be information on the site about the token. So the token, no monetary value behind it. You can only earn it through engagement. So let's say you go on Niftgen, you comment on a video, you get +1 token. Let's say you rate a video +1 token. And that's for now. We're going to add a lot more things in the future. Like, let's say you post, I'm just making this up, an hour-long video. You're going to get rewarded X amount for the more you watch it.
Okay.
And we're actually going to have a cool gaming aspect to it, which I'm not going to reveal in this show. There'll be in the future about it to get people excited about it. And this token, you're going to be able to use it to access some features we have planned down the road. Not for the mainnet launch yet, because we're going to build them onto Niftgen as the product develops. And really, the whole point of the token is for fans to better connect with you guys, the creators, right? Like one of the features we're going to have in the futures is that users are going to be able to use the token to vote on what type of stuff you guys are going to be doing during a live stream in real time to really make them feel connected to you guys when you guys are showing content, right? It's essentially about for you guys discovering the super fans and for the fans to realize who are like their super creators and stuff like that. And now this token, you're not going to be able to put it like on a liquidity pool. We have a freeze and clawback address in place.
Okay.
And so why did we do this? Two reasons. One, because we are in the United States, right? So regulatory compliant. We want to make sure that we follow all the rules, right? And be respectful of the rules. And two, primarily because we feel that having the actual, just a normal token with monetary value, which is what people think when they think of the word token, can attract the wrong type of users in the beginning who are just there just to hope the token goes to the moon, then cash out and disappear, right? So we didn't want to do that at the beginning. In the future, we might have a second token that will have like a monetary value and have governance in it, but that's like for the future, not for now. So when we launch on the mainnet, the token you're going to see, it's something you can only earn for engagement. Can't buy it anywhere. You can only earn it on the platform. And you can't like trade it, put it on a DEX. Like we have freeze and clawback in place for in that regard.
It's kind of interesting because I wonder, there's only one other, service, I guess, that I would say is comparable to what you guys are building. Obviously, I would say it's definitely a little bit further along, which is Theta. Theta TV is a token. They have two tokens, really. They have obviously the Theta TV token or the Theta token, which the node runners, the people who secure the network, are earning by running those nodes. And then you also have the Theta Fuel, which is the token that the people viewing, like if you're going to view a streamer, you can actually watch your Theta Fuel game. But both of those have monetary values. Now, I don't know if that company is in the US, but that was going to be one of the things I was going to ask is if you guys were not in the US, would you have made the token have a monetary value?
Yeah, and I'll just quickly kind of like just add also to what Christian said and then kind of answer that. So like one of the things is that like when we were thinking about the token, like we're also, we're part of the accelerator for Algorand. And like we talk with people who are in like actual tokenomics experts and, lawyers and people from outside the United States, just to like diversify and everything. And like for us, like one of the things we realize, and it's one of the beautiful things about Web3 is that the token can really help bring together creators and fans, and it could also have the network effect. So basically, these people, they get rewarded for their engagement with the token, which will then only be used internally within the same platform. So they can only benefit other people on the platform. But if the platform grows and people are like, okay, this community has my back, and vice versa, it's like it kind of becomes like a virtuous cycle almost. So that just comes with something to add to that. And then in terms of if we weren't in the United States, yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, like, okay, like I'm born and raised in the United States. It's my country. I love this country, but at the same time, like kind of like alluding to like what you guys were saying earlier, is that like I'm kind of seeing for the first time in my life, and it's been a while, that the United States seems to be behind. Like I was always used to like the United States is always like an innovator, #1 in the world at everything it does. Well, okay, maybe not everything, but a lot of things.
That's the narrative, just the narrative.
Right, but like right now, it feels like we're losing, and it feels weird because that's not what the United States is about. But I'm guessing that there are certain factors at play that maybe we're not even aware of, and I'm guessing kind of especially what happened with like FTX and Celsius and all that. So I do have to say though that the United States right now isn't terribly competitive when it comes to like good regulations, and there's a lack of clarity, as Christian said, so that kind of compounds the problem. So, but I think though that even if we weren't in the United States, the token wouldn't be that much different because like our ultimate goal is to grow the platform and to create an environment that's conducive to growing that of creators followings and to form deeper connections with fans. Whereas if you put the monetary value to it, it sometimes takes that away because let's face it, a lot of people are in this space for speculative reasons and all they care is when moon. And like, that's exactly what we wanted to avoid. So, yeah.
I guess another question to tag along there is, I guess, what should we? I just lost my train of thought too, but it's along that idea of like Win Moon. Is it a bad thing that we can't, have that monetary value? Or I guess what are we going to be able to do with the Niftgen token, like once we earn it? Because I think about, what I've heard a lot of people say the past, 6 months is, you want to be able to unlock the value that you have and use it anywhere, right? You don't want to feel like you're trapped. And so that's where I feel like, with say Theta Fuel, right? Say you're watching a streaming service and you're earning a thing, but it does have a monetary value. And if you want, you could go sell that for USDT and then go take that value elsewhere. Whereas with say the Niftgen token, you would have to, have it on the platform and only be used on the platform. So what value then will users expect from earning, the Niftgen token?
Gotcha. Essentially, like the token is going to be used to access a suite of features we have planned that are going to be able to better connect creators in that. Like, for example, I'll throw one out. It's going to be one of the first ones we're going to be rolling out is access to like a messaging or chat feature so they can reach out to you guys directly. So one, that prevents spam for you guys from being spammed by bots. And two, it's kind of like if people really want to reach out to you, they're going to engage, earn some tokens, and spend it on that. That's one of the things we have planned. But overall, I mean, the value that you get out of the token is to use it to really connect with creators. That's what we're going to be experimenting at the beginning.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and you could say that maybe this is a bit of a risk that we're taking, but we're kind of like very bullish on what we can do with this community and kind of like the size of it that we can grow to make it let's just say worth your while to earn that token. Because the other thing is that, and this is something that like even we notice that like when we talk and like especially in my case, like when I talk to other video creators, is that what is kind of like maybe even, I don't want to say paradigm shift, but maybe kind of like a new way of thinking, an added layer of thinking, is that we can have
Somebody's
people
audio.
Oh, I apologize. Oh, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies about that. I think it was some
Nice
background.
song.
But I was just going to say, like, another added layer to what we're doing, like, with the tokens, is that, like, for instance, you already have YouTube and Patreon, right? And you go to Patreon, people, they'll pay and they'll subscribe to watch exclusive content. But here's the thing, though. Like, if for whatever reason they don't like the content or whatever, they're basically screwed, right? But whereas on Niftgen, you come on board, you get the content, but you also get rewarded for engaging with the content. You have that extra incentive to keep going. And that is kind of like something that, even though it's just one extra incentive, is something that we believe can really help grow the platform to that size that we're looking for. So yeah, it is a little limited in the sense that maybe it is too internal, but the idea is that if the ecosystem is large and wide enough, then that should be good for the people who really care about this, which we hope is most people.
Well, this is something like as a creator, like we can also figure out ways to use the tokens to then reward our own community. Plotting and planning. But yes, it does, like the Theta Fuel is everyone would want to collect it and sell it for algos or USDC, but we can all creatively think of other ways to keep this thing going. Because I love the blockchain. Patreon style is dope. I have subscribed to people's Patreons. I'm paid Discord, so I'm the type of person that would do all that. So Niftgen is always interesting to me.
And I feel like on top of that, you talk about growing, it makes sense as long as, you guys hit I guess you could say critical mass, right? That Niftgen grows to the level of, the ones that are already out there, the YouTubes, the Twitch, the Patreon, things like that. How are you guys attracting content creators outside of the Algorand ecosystem, and how do you plan to kind of, I guess, seep into the markets that are the Twitch and the YouTube and actually show them that hey, you can actually earn value for watching where you can't over there, and how do you, I would say this because I feel like this is the most important thing, how do you plan to make it fun? Because that's the thing, most people they watch videos or they watch content because it's fun. And even you think of like Axie Infinity, yes, it had the monetary value to it, but even if you took that away, say like Fractal Labs, right? I'm not earning money when I play Fractal Monsters, but there is a fun aspect to it. So how do you plan to make Niftgen entertaining and fun to bring those users and content creators over?
Gotcha. So in terms of onboarding creators, like it's like direct marketing, reaching out to them, kind of like how we discovered you guys, just like reaching out on Twitter and email stuff. And we've had like a pretty good success rate in terms of like pitching to creators, because I mean, let's be honest, YouTube and Twitch sucks in terms of making money, right? Yeah, okay, if you're Mr. Beast, you're doing good, but that's like 1 in a billion, right? So like, I mean, most of you guys don't make any money on YouTube or Twitch, so that gets the conversation going. It's gonna be interesting now in terms of like pitching to like your fans, users, and why they should come over and pay to subscribe either to you guys or to Niftgen to use the product. The argument we're making is that, you know, you get a lot more out of it because you're actually rewarded for your engagement, which is not something that happens on YouTube or Twitch, right? I mean, in a sense, you get what you paid for, right? If the product is free, the content's not going to be that good. Like here, they're going to be paying to access really good, high quality content, which, you know, you're paying for good quality, which is one thing. And the other thing, it's the whole point of the engagement token, which is going to be used to really better connect with you guys. And like, I'm not going to talk about all the features we have planned because that would take too long. Plus, I'm going to want to reveal some things just to keep the excitement going, right? But overall, like the goal of Niftgen is going to be for a ways, like for the fans and the creators to really better connect, and also how to make the platform fun. That's going to be the point of getting the feedback. It's like, what is going to be the features that we should be having to really make the platform fun? Because overall, if the platform is fun, that's all you need. Like you said, Fractal Labs, I think they killed it in terms of like simplicity. It's easy to use, and it's just fun to play. That's all you need. They didn't get creative with like monetary token and investing schedules and all the stuff like that, which I think, I'm not going to name some projects here, but I know some projects had a really good idea, and the token of the monetary value just destroyed them completely, because they were just chasing after the token, how to get the price up, and they didn't think about the product, which, I mean, if your product dies, then let's say there's nothing there.
Right.
Yeah, and just to like kind of like to say about like in terms of how to bring in people from outside of like Algorand. Well, the first thing is that that's actually also divided in two different phases of you, because there's also other Web3 creators, like people who are on Web3, maybe not specifically Algorand, so they're much more open to this because of their audience. But the good thing is that, you know, we go on mainnet, and in March we already expect the platform to be pretty much Web2 friendly. So you're, you know, like in terms of being able to pay with fiat and maybe even doing the traditional Web2 sign up. So it's going to be pretty easy for those creators to use. And we've been talking to a number of them. We haven't like officially onboarded them, but definitely there's been a lot of interest. So in that sense, like we know that we just need to get the platform to a certain level. And in terms of making the platform fun, kind of on top of what Christian said, I'm not going to reveal too much because this is kind of like something in the works, but we are working on doing some gamification things that will make it worth your while and make it engaging and interesting for users, so that they're not just passive viewers, but they're actually like, they feel like they have an influence on things.
Right. And so I feel like one of the next questions I would have is, you know, obviously we've talked a lot about how the, you know, users and the customers of Niftgen and the fans of the content creators are going to be rewarded. But obviously your all's bread and butter, and the reason why you're building this is because you want to help content creators better monetize their, you know, whatever they're producing. So, you know, when Niftgen launches on mainnet, how do you guys plan to, you know, actually help, you know, content creators make more money? And then, or how long do you expect until the average content creator is actually making more money on Niftgen than they would be if they were to move from, say, YouTube or Twitch or wherever they're streaming or uploading content currently?
Yeah, well,
I want to add real quick.
Sorry.
I want to add too that I think just pricing wise, YouTube, I think does about 50%, right? 55%. And then they have like a membership that does about 70% for the creator, just to add that in there. So context.
Yeah. Well, that YouTube membership is a little limited though. If you really read into it, apparently you can't really connect with your fans. Apparently YouTube doesn't really allow that. So you can't really, so I'm not even sure, like, I guess they're paying for like I guess that exclusivity aspect, but it's kind of funny because you can't really even connect with that creator that
I think you're also paying for no ads or very limited
ads.
That's what reason.
Which is not our problem because we don't even have that. But
yeah, correct. In terms to answer your question a little bit more specifically, David, and like how like you guys are gonna monetize better. So let's get into like the. Is there echo? I hear echo coming through the.
It's the cell phones are going crazy right now.
Yeah, like
there we go.
Yeah, Philip, like maybe mute yourself. It's phone. So Yeah, like that always happens with the connections. But so as I was saying, David, to better like answer your question, so like let's talk about the business model a little bit. So fans essentially like to use the platform. They have two options. They can either subscribe to Niftgen for $8.99 a month, where they get access to the whole platform, or can they subscribe to individual creators for $4.99 a month? And let's say that a person goes to Niftgen, sees crypto for change, and they subscribe just to you for $4.99. You keep 70% of the commission, which is way higher than you see on YouTube or Twitch or anything. None of the
Facts.
you're making money. But the best feature we're gonna have on Niftgen, at least for now, in my opinion, is that you guys, you're gonna have so like your account on Niftgen, and you're gonna be able to send out referral links to the fans you already have on Twitter, on YouTube, or Twitch, whatever. And they're gonna be able to come over to that referral link and either subscribe to you if they just want to watch you guys individually, or to the whole platform. But let's say that, so let's do an example. Let's say C Will sends a referral link to John, right? And John signs up for the whole platform for $8.99 a month through that referral link. You, C Will, are still gonna keep 40% of that, even though John signed up to the platform, because you put in the effort of bringing people over, right? This is all
Makes
part of the
sense.
network effect mechanisms we have in place, because we honestly just feel it's right that if the creators help users come over and subscribe to Niftgen and pay money, that you guys should be rewarded for it. In addition to that, we're gonna have a question, C Will?
No, I'm just like hyped because like you said, quality content, right? If you got a lot of creators producing quality content, you're actually saving money by buying the whole platform and getting all your favorite artists. Because I'm thinking about the guys that got short films, right? Great platform to share your short film on. Great platform to share music videos. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So lectures and things of that nature. I'm just throwing ideas out there because it's definitely a value if it's some quality on there.
Yeah, exactly. And what I like about the referral link stuff, that kind of like creates an incentive also for Philip and I and for the whole team to help you guys really better get out there, get your fans, send the links, get them to come over to Niftgen. So it's kind of like we're all in this together, right? It creates that feeling and so forth. And I honestly feel very confident that it will not take that long for you guys to make a lot more money on Niftgen than on YouTube and Twitch, just to be very transparent. Not trying to sound cocky, but I honestly feel that like with these features, it won't take you guys that long. But
well, I do have a question about advertisements, right? So as another business, not like for us as content creators, can other businesses pay Niftgen to put ads inside of Niftgen somewhere, like banner ads and things of that nature? Because once the audience get up, I'm just throwing that out there. Is that possible?
I mean, so is that possible in software?
Well, yes, it's possible.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So is that possible? Yes, absolutely. It's definitely possible. It's just that
Question is this an ad-free space? Is it an ad-free space?
For now, 100%, because based on all the feedback we got from everybody, nobody likes ads, right? I mean, people pay more than 80% of the people that pay for YouTube Premium is to not watch ads.
Yes.
Like that's the thing. Like, I mean, I personally don't think we're gonna have ads now. Anything can happen, right? If we do get to a point where companies want to advertise on Niftgen, because if we do that would be a great problem to have, where we have like a lot of users or people want to advertise on Niftgen. I would love to have that problem. Then it's gonna have to be in a way where like you creators have a lot more control in terms of how the ads are placed. And it has to be something where like the user's experience is actually improved and not made worse by them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, just to kind of like compound that, like one of the things that we noticed is that we were, kind of thinking about is that maybe at some point, maybe like Sewell or like David, you guys, work with some companies and, maybe they feel like your show and your audience is like the best type of audience, the best target audience for them. Maybe what they might want to do is maybe they will work out a deal with you and they'll like come on board and like do a segment on their on what they're doing, and that will kind of give the users I guess a more intimate insight into what's going on. Also, one thing I personally noticed, like watching a lot of content creators like on Instagram, is I noticed that the best ads are those that you don't even know they're ads until the very end. Like I noticed some people on Instagram, like for instance, they'll do like skits and it says ad in the caption, so I know it's an ad, but like unless I watch it till the very end, or at least like 3/4 of the way in, I don't know if it's an ad. And I'm kind of thinking like if ever like ads are to be done on Niftgen, which, you know, like we said, right now it's not a thing, but it would probably be like a different kind of form of ads, not the traditional YouTube, like here's your, you know, 6-second ad of McDonald's, even though you never go to McDonald's or any of that. Like we're kind of thinking of doing something, if it does come down, that would have to be something way more creative and more responsive and engaging for the viewers.
Nice, nice. So, you know, what about, you know, you guys say, you know, there'll be links that that the content creators can send out to bring in their, you know, people who are using, you know, maybe you want to use the platform to support the creator. How is it going to be? Is it going to be friendly, I guess, to, because you kind of said it was going to be kind of a Web2 thing at the start. You know, if someone doesn't have, you know, a crypto wallet and they want to subscribe, they want to pay, and they want to earn the token, but they don't want to go through all the hoops of setting up their own and keeping their own keys. Do you guys have a system in place to kind of help with that?
Gotcha. So literally one of the first features that we're going to be working on implementing is right after we launch in mainnet is one, fiat integration. So you want to pay for subscription, use debit or credit card, period, end of story. And two, it's going to be Web2 sign-on. We're actually partnering with this other company on Algorand called Dropchain to work on implementing that, where you want to create an account, a username and password. That's it. Like you don't even have to do a wallet.
Nice.
It kind of like happens in the back end. Kind of like Magic Link is the same thing, right? In that regard. Because like we're like, you know, we started on Algorand by going after Algorand video creators such as you guys, but essentially like right now we're going after also creators from other blockchain ecosystems and even Web2 creators who don't even use crypto because we want to cast a wide net. And quite frankly, like you need to look at the wallet as a paywall almost, because we're used to using crypto wallets, right? But many people, they just don't. I mean, let's be honest. People use the same password for all their bank accounts. You think they're gonna want to remember a 24-seed phrase? No, they're just not gonna use the platform. So to answer your question, how we're gonna make it Web2 friendly, that's one of our key things, not just for right after mainnet in terms of fiat and the Web2 sign-on, but throughout the whole throughout the whole journey. I mean, we want Niftgen essentially to be so simple where you don't even you don't even ask the question, is this a blockchain company or not? It's just fun and easy to use, which that should be the goal for everybody.
Nice.
Yes. Any more highlights and updates y'all could share?
To share just a little bit tweezers. So we are partnering with like many other companies to make Niftgen better. Like some of the companies, we actually have some partnerships going on with gaming companies on Algorand, where like some creators are gonna be posting video content on Niftgen to help promote those. And in addition, they're going to help push their users to Niftgen to subscribe and watch all this exclusive content. And we have revenue share models in place with them, kind of like to solidify the partnership. So get ready for a lot of good content on Niftgen over them. Not all when we go on mainnet, right? It's going to take some time to build out everything, but overall, that there's a lot of really good things happening in 2023.
And what's the UI going to kind of look like as far as like, you know, for people like when they're shown like how to, you know, collect or earn the token? Like you kind of, I don't know if the way you kind of talked about it earlier, is it going to be like, you know up front where if like you watch this video, you're going to earn X amount of tokens? Or is it going to be more like if you have your wallet connected and you're watching the video, you're seeing the wallet just kind of like almost like the number just kind of climb as you watch more? What's that going to look like, you know, for the user experience side of it?
Gotcha. So at the beginning, it's gonna be like a little bit bare bones, where we're gonna have like a message there, like in your face, stating, "Hey, do this. You get to earn this token." Okay, it's not gonna be super pretty, but it's just for you to know that you earn tokens during these actions. Then once we improve the UI, it's literally gonna be when you click on it, you're gonna get a notification popping up. Hey, you earned a token. Click here to go claim it. Right. So that's gonna be like build on as the product develops.
Okay, so February 20th. Go ahead.
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so February 20th, can you walk us through the day? Launch mainnet, you're gonna be sending out, and then how do we get our fans, like walk us through that process so they could be ready?
Gotcha. Yeah. So on the 20th, I don't have like an exact time in terms of like when on the 20th, but I would say around nighttime Eastern time on the 20th. So users essentially will have different options. They're going to go on the platform directly and just subscribe directly to Niftgen. There'll be like a big subscribe button, which you really can't miss. or they can just like scroll through the list of creators and like subscribe to one. You guys, we're gonna be like having you guys, the creators, create accounts before and actually start posting some video content, so you already have like stuff there on the website. And in addition, we're gonna be providing with you guys the referral links to send out. So I highly recommend for the viewers watching here, if you really want to support the creators, reach out to them and ask for the referral links, because that way, they make more money that way, right? Because if you just come over to Niftgen and subscribe to Niftgen, then essentially like the commission is split between us and the creator pool, right? But if you subscribe to Niftgen through their links, they make more money that way, right? So we had many ways to do it. So like the real thing, it's going to be about helping you guys get the referral links out to the masses.
Can we give the folks the website?
Well, it's on testnet right now. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's www.niftgen.com. But spoiler alert, it's going to look very different when we go on mainnet.
Okay, we'll wait then. We'll wait. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
PG or Philip, anything for you to add?
No, honestly, actually, mainnet is okay. Mainnet is going to be extremely exciting, but I think even more exciting is going to be the months following up mainnet, because that's when the platform's really going to start looking like, well, at least how we think it's going to be. And it's really going to start adding new things, and you're really going to start to see the evolution of the platform. But on the 20th though is kind of like, when things really start kicking off, and you guys will be, you guys will know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to go through. But that's kind of where we expect, things to start happening. But then once we go on mainnet and the product starts evolving, we start adding the features, the Web2 integrations, make the website more Web2 friendly, make the UI better, everything better. That's when things are really going to probably kick up. So.
Oh yeah.
And I know this is more of a question probably for me, just because I feel like, well, I mean, we all do live streaming. Obviously we're doing it now, but for like our show, and even for like, people who stream content, when is your all's timetable look like for that type of content to be on Niftgen, for people to be able to watch their favorite content creator live?
Gotcha. Yeah, live streaming, and we had penciled in the summer of 2023 to get it integrated. The good thing is that we found some pretty good providers to help us with it, because like integrating live streaming, I'm not going to get into the technicals. You have no idea how hard it is to do, especially if you want to do your own infrastructure. If you want to do it in a decentralized way, where it's actually it helps lower the cost of doing the live stream, that takes a really long time to do. Now I understand why YouTube and Twitch haven't gone completely decentralized, because they literally can't, because they're too big already to go fully decentralized, honestly, which is a great advantage for us. I'm very happy about that. But so like it's going to be working towards the sum about having the live streaming integrated.
Nice.
Okay. Let's slowly start to close out. We got about a few more minutes left in the show. David, you got anything?
No, I was just going to say, if there's anything else, Christian or PG, if y'all want to say here as we close out, you can. If not, then obviously we can wrap up the show.
I think we covered all our bases, Philip, unless I missed something. Maybe the audience has some questions they would like to ask us. I don't know.
Y'all quiet today.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any pop up.
Hey.
There's definitely some people there, and they're tuning in. I see it on the YouTube. We got some viewers, but looks like no questions from the audience unless they come in here in the last few seconds.
Y'all got any questions for David or C. Will?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for David. You got any content? You got any content prepared for Niftgen?
I mean, obviously, as of late, I've just been streaming a lot of content, live, me playing some live gaming outside of our show, obviously, that we do. So I do plan on, obviously, even if they don't have live content available immediately, it's easy to, pull off a video, go in, chop it up, and then throw it up on there. So that's primarily what I'll be, bringing to Niftgen, is just going to be gaming content. I've been streaming some Fractal Monsters. As more Algorand games come live, I plan to stream those and bring that content as well. So kind of making, my own little Algorand gaming channel, but also play other games just for fun as well. So that's kind of what I will be doing. I don't know what you're planning on, but that's kind of where I'm going.
In the Divide, what's good? He said getting some stuff ready. And then Fractals must have heard you.
Yeah, they've
got
tuned
good
into
ears
my
over there.
yeah, they've tuned into my stream a few times, and it's been kind of cool because I can actually ask them like questions while I'm playing.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'm cooking up some things. Otherwise, yeah, let's close out. I appreciate you, Niftgen, Christian, Philip, and everybody else for tapping in. Again, this show brought to you by NF Domains. Get you a .algo ASAP.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time, everybody. Yep. We'll see you guys on next week, and get ready. Obviously, it's coming up in only 5 days for the Niftgen launch, so be sure to check them out. Jump over on their site, be registered if you're not already, and get ready to start watching some content and earning those rewards.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Peace.